Hey, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
What's up? So I'm James Davey. I guess I'll start off. I'm James Davey. I'm the co-creator of The Midnight World. We recently finished our Kickstarter. We funded at just under 200%. And we will be launching the game if the world remains equal and we don't lose our opportunity to do it. We'll be launching the game this fall. But you guys will hopefully see, the viewers today will hopefully see that we have a pretty slick, pretty completed product.
Yeah, let's
definitely.
let's talk about this for a second. So we're playing The Midnight World today, which is a game that I've just heard about recently, but I really dig the concept.
Yeah, so The Midnight World is it's a horror game that one of the things that my brother and I are both combat veterans. We came back from the Army. We had some pretty strong difficulties trying to reintegrate with our families and friend groups because we had changed. There was something different about us, and we didn't want to make it sort of the primary focus of who we were as people. But at the same time, these things had changed about us, and we didn't really know how to communicate it. And we've always been big role players, so we were actually we were playing a Hunter the Vigil game, and we were trying to introduce mechanics into that game that would help our friends understand sort of what it is like to have the conditions that we have. And we would add a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there. And before we realized it, we built a whole new system. So we like to sort of pitch The Midnight World as a horror tabletop RPG that focuses on themes of anxiety, depression, PTSD, and mental illness, but that allows you to put those feelings back in the box at the end of the game. So that's sort of where we're at.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's a neat concept. And before
I very much dig it.
I do too. Before we start, I know that we got some pre-gens that we're taking a look at. Do we want to talk about kind of what characters we're going to play, or do we want to talk about some of the safety mechanics first?
Talk about safety mechanics first, if that's cool with you, James.
Absolutely. So I utilize a 3-step safety mechanic process. First and foremost, just be right out of the gate. I am a horror storyteller. I do sometimes, with the consent of players, talk about, I give pretty in-depth descriptions of gore and stuff like that. Because this is a stream and because the viewers don't have the ability to consent or not consent to that sort of thing, I just won't be doing it. Instead of describing any in-depth gore, I will simply say, there is gore over there, and I will let your minds run with it.
I did state in our intro, this is a rated R event, so.
Well, I was going to say fuck a lot, though, so I'll get my R rating. I also don't mess around with anything that looks like sexual assault, explicit descriptions of sexual content, anything like that. I just don't do in my games, so it won't be done here. However, it is going to be a tense game. There are going to be moments where PCs may be upset at one another and that sort of thing. This game does not really have a heavy PvP mechanic or incentive, but if anything were to come up where anybody felt like they needed to stop the scene for a second and take a breath, you can say beat. If you say beat, I want everybody to stop talking, slowly count to 10, and then get back into the scene. If it's too intense and you need to walk away from your computer for a minute, you can say break. If you say break, everybody get up, take a 5-minute break, and come back. And by the time we come back, I will have figured out how to move us past that moment. If it is egregious and you do not feel like you can continue without an in-depth discussion, say cut, pull the stream down, and let's go talk about it behind just the 4 of us.
Deal. I'm in.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right.
These are it's like innovative. That's really cool. We'll have
that
to have
works
a stream
really
where we
well.
talk about it.
Yeah, that works really well for online gaming too. I like it.
Yeah, same.
Stealing
I
that.
love that my hat actually matches your background, Ian.
It's perfect. Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about these pre-gens, because I already know which one I want to play.
I do too. We might have a fight over it, though.
I don't think we will. Go ahead. Go. What do you want to play?
I want to play the cameraman.
Yep. Nope. Not going to fight.
Woo!
I would like to play the paranormal investigator.
Knew it.
Rick, are we fighting? Oh, Rick, you're on mute.
No, because I want to be the anchorman.
Yes.
Nice.
As my clown.
I love it.
Very nice.
This is going to be so good.
So, before we launch into all of that, I'm going to describe just a few quick concepts about the Midnight World. A little bit different than what you're used to. Some of them a little bit same. When you look at those sheets, you're going to see a sheet that looks not dissimilar to sheets you're familiar with, Shadowrun or any White Wolf sheets, anything that is a dice per dot system, and this is a dice per dot system. However, it's a little different because you'll see attributes and you'll see skills. One of the things about our game is that we have always thought it was really bizarre that a person who is very, very highly trained in a thing is just as likely to succeed in it as a person who's just naturally good at it. We believe that talent and skills are two different things. So attributes and skills are weighted a little bit differently in our game. Now, our game is going to be an attribute plus a skill equals your dice pool. But attributes will always be rolled as D6s, and skills will always be rolled as D8s. Your cutoff, your target number is 5, so obviously it's much easier for a D8 to hit a 5 than it is for a D6. If you're untrained at something, you can just roll the attribute, just roll your D6s, and you still have a very high chance to make it, because in our game, you don't even have to roll one hit to succeed at what you're trying to do. As long as you roll, so if you roll, say, 3 D6s and you get one of them as a 5, that's considered a perfect, everything went exactly like you wanted it to. If you get no hits at all, that's still, you did what you were trying to do, but something else occurred. So we call that a, I wrote the game, guys. I remember what we call it.
I
It's
believe
a
you.
win-win chicken din.
Yeah, we call it a complicated success, which is to say, for instance, if you're trying to pick a lock, you get the lock open, but you break the lock pick off in the door.
Cool.
And then one of the things you'll see is this clock, right? So this clock tracks 3 different things. The hour hand clocks how far removed you are from reality, because this is a multiverse, and the deeper you get, the further you're going to get removed from it. Everybody's hour hand should be at 1, except for one of you. One of you has the challenge untouched.
Not me.
That person's hour hand is at 0. Because
Gotta
you
be.
haven't actually had a run-in with the supernatural yet.
Oh, okay.
Have not. So if there is an hour, like if the clock is at 1, then there has been.
Possibly. I had my co-creator make these sheets, and I didn't look to see if but just look to see if you've got the challenge untouched. Here, I can actually pull it up.
Yes,
I do
I
not.
do have the challenge untouched.
Okay, so then your hour hand should be at 0. You have
Cool.
not started your descent. That also means that you cannot use your your first hour contract yet.
Okay.
So on your second sheet, now these first hour contracts are pseudo magical abilities that you kind of do instinctually, because you are still really rooted in your own reality at 1 o'clock. But as you get higher, you get more powerful and further removed from reality. Minute hands are your distress. It's how freaked out you are by what's going on around you. A lot of things give you distress. Seeing horrible things, specifically being exposed to your trauma trigger, will cause you to immediately and exponentially start gaining minutes. And then using these powers costs you minutes as well, because it's crazy that you're able to do these things. Every even minute, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, you gain a D4 to every single one of your rolls. Now you'll see on your sheet there's a little place to track how many of these D4s you have. With those D4s, unless they roll a 1, they don't matter. If they roll a 1, they subtract a success from your pool. If at any time you roll more 1s on D4s than successes on your pool, you have catastrophically failed, and that's where we start seeing the bad things happen. What you will see in this game, we've run probably, I want to say at this point, 700 hours of tests. What we have seen in every single event with new players is the first half of the game, they're like, man, this game is too easy. There's no way to fail. And at the last half of the game, they're like, dude, if you make me roll to check the mail, everyone in the party's going to die, because I can't do anything with all of these D4s. Now, there are ways to get rid of D4s. Your solace trigger you see there, for every 1 minute in game that you spend exposed to your solace trigger, you reduce your minutes by 1.
This is such a cool system.
Thank you.
I like it.
Put a lot of thought into it. Now, seconds are practically, for all intents and purposes, are willpower from a Roll of Darkness game. You can
Okay.
or edge from Shadowrun. You can spend them for effects. You can spend 3 seconds equals 1 success on any roll. 4 seconds equals removing a 1 from a d4, and 6 seconds equals just removing all distress dice from any single roll. You can only spend 6 seconds a turn. If ever your seconds wrap all the way to 12, they drop back to 1 and your minute hand goes up. If your minutes ever wrap all the way around to 12, they go back to 1 and your hour hand goes up. Your hour hand is not going to get to midnight in this game. Something happens when it does, but it's not going to come up.
Interesting.
All right.
So that is sort of the basic system. I know it sounds a little complicated, but I think that you'll see once we get into rolling with it, it's pretty self-explanatory. Any
Sounds good.
questions before we get started?
I don't think so. I might have some while we're playing, but for
Yeah.
now, I think I'm good.
I'll pretty much need you to explain each roll as they come up, just because things don't stick for me all the time. But yeah, good to go. Good to go.
I'm
All right,
excited.
so it's 1997, and the major networks have their schedules mostly lined up for the fall. However, due to the renewed popular interest in the paranormal, the U.S.'s largest science fiction channel, whatever the name of that may be, has opened a primetime slot for anybody who can show them something they think will sell. Now, you guys have worked together before. You worked on a Ghost Hunters-esque style show where you would go and you would find these local legends and you would deep dive into them, but it was a little ahead of its time. The Ghost Hunter show actually didn't come out to 2004, so you guys are a little ahead of your time. It didn't really sell, so you guys have put together this new project and you've called it the Reason Brigade. And what the Reason Brigade is you go to these small towns and you investigate these legends, but with the direct purpose of trying to debunk them. So you go in and you interview people and you put together their stories and you're like, see, this couldn't really be what's going on because I have these 9 different things. And you look at science and you look at local history and you try really hard to just debunk these stories. You have sort of cast yourselves as an opposition to the rebirth of like New Age frou-frou movements. And you hope to make your mark by hunting down these small town legends and just picking them apart on air.
Cool.
For this episode, this is going to be your pilot episode. You guys are really ready to make this thing happen. You're going to be going down to a little tiny abandoned airport in a place called Edenton, Georgia. The Putnam County Airport was abandoned in 1987, 1988, has mostly been used at this point as cast-off storage for a nearby factory facility. But there have been several local legends that tell of eerie events. I'm getting feedback off of somebody.
Oh, better.
Let's see. Yep.
That's us. All right.
Yep. So there have been several local legends that have told of events that have happened here. You guys have 3 specifically that you're going to look at. And the game will begin with you guys. You've just finished setting up your trailer. You have a trailer off to the side of the main hangar, and that's unfortunately, you guys are not wealthy, so this is a small trailer. You're all 3 staying in it, and it contains all of your gear, everything. It's just the 3 of you guys out here. There's nobody else out here at the airport, but you guys are set up and you're ready. You're probably not really going to start doing the heavy investigative work until tomorrow on the heavy shooting and stuff, but you guys can sort of wander around and check things out. It is really hot. It's about 98 degrees. It's during a huge drought in Georgia. It hasn't rained here in weeks upon weeks. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Georgia, but the ground is this sort of packed, cracked red clay everywhere. And this airport is broken down. Like the hangar has a bunch of busted out windows in it. The tower has a huge crack running up the side of it. And you guys know in your sort of pre-work that is because the event that sort of shut the airport down was a plane, a small twin engine plane in the middle of takeoff, clipped the tower. It ended up killing 3 people. It killed the pilot of the plane, a guy named Tom Matheson. It killed the guy that was in the air traffic control tower, a guy named Don March, and then a third guy who was just a worker that you guys weren't able to. Nobody really cared. He was like an indigent worker, so nobody knows his name. So you guys can still see that the wreckage was cleared, but you can see the damage to the tower from that. And then in the distance, sort of on top of a nearby hill, you can see the Horton Homes facility, which is a prefab home facility, and it's still, people are still working there. But local town authorities have told you guys could do this, but they're not providing you any support. So it's the three of you out here alone. At this point, I'm going to let you guys kind of wander around, get into character, talk, and then when I'm ready, when we're ready, I'll move to the next stage.
Gentlemen, I don't know what we're going to be doing here with all these local townies not being of any help, but I tell you, it's hotter than a dog's something or other. I don't know.
Really have a way of
something or other you don't know, really.
Well, you never know who's watching, and cameraman over here might be filming. I don't want to say anything too rated.
Hey man, I'm always filming, and I've kind of got my giant camera rig on top of my shoulder. I even have a little bit of tape over the red light, so you don't know when I'm filming and when I'm not.
That sounds about right. So the investigator of the group, Atticus, smoking a cigarette, just leaning against the van. You guys ready to go?
Hey, you're the investigator here, Mr. Atticus. We're just here to follow you and make a story.
Yeah, got all your gear.
Yeah, I got everything he needs. He doesn't really carry anything so much. So I've also got like a gig bag. My character's Billy Zane Jr. So he's a very dashing, good-looking, very self-absorbed individual, but also works his butt off to make sure he can make this great episode. Yeah, where are we going to? Where should I take all this stuff?
I don't know. What do you think? Where should we set up?
I want to make sure that we can get the right shots. So I could probably set up my camera over here, and I can kind of get like an undershot of you while with the airport behind you. It's got this really cool tower that's all messed up from the plane crash. I wonder if we could probably use that.
Tragedy sells. I'm playing Travis O'Connell, Anchorman, Channel 4. We got the 8 o'clock primetime spot. But yeah, any kind of wreckage you got, you could zoom in on that. Maybe if you find someone looking distressed, you can get a lot more viewers that way.
Travis, you got the best cameraman in the game. Of course I can get those close-ups for you.
You don't have to remind me. I know.
Hey guys, yeah, set it up however you want. Just tell me where you want me to start doing my job.
One quick note, for those of you, the two of you who have memories on your sheet, and one thing I sort of didn't mention to the crowd is the way our character creation system works is you don't just create your characters, you create a memory that creates your characters. So for the two of you who do have those memories, keep an eye on those, on the things in the memory that sort of strike out to you, because that is the horrible thing that happened to you to kick you down this road.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, I just looked. I don't have any memories on mine.
Yeah, I do. I'm just catching up on it real quick. I'm just refreshing my.
Yeah, so Billy Zane Jr. is going to, probably take his shirt off and then start setting up all like the camera equipment and wiring and all that.
Okay. So you guys are sort of establishing the opening shot where the anchor is going to. Probably, I would imagine, sort of interview the paranormal investigator a bit and ask him what his thoughts are. So, Ian, what's your character's name?
Atticus.
So, Atticus, you know that there are three major reports that you're going to be investigating here. The first is that a lot of witnesses have stated that if you go up to the air traffic control tower, it's a little dangerous to get up there because, it's structurally unsound. But if you can get up there at around dusk, people have reported hearing the sounds of two men arguing. They can't really make out what they're saying, but they're very clearly upset at one another, and the whole scenario ends with the sound of something being thrown against the wall. And many different people have reported this. with minor variations over time, but that's one of the local legends. The other is there is a sub-basement where the generators were, or still are, they're just not on anymore. And that if you go down there at midnight, you will see a bright flash of light and what sounds like rhythmic chanting. And then the final one is that in the bunkhouse where waylaid pilots would have to sleep, there is at at around 10 p.m. at night on some clear nights, you hear what sounds like a grown man sobbing. And so those are the 3 local legends that you're looking for. And it's about 5 p.m. right now, so the sun is starting to set.
Perfect.
You said the name of the investigative group was the Reason Collective, was it?
Reason Brigade.
Reason Brigade.
Da-da-da-da. Looks like it's like it's golden hour. I think we're probably going to get some good establishing shots here, gentlemen.
Sweet. Yeah, if we can get some good shots going up to the tower, go into it around dusk. That's when some of the reports have been. And then we can move from there and set up in a couple different places. I think. Yeah. What do you think? The tower, give us some. I don't want to step on your toes, man, but like some establishing shots coming up to it, and then we can start up in it.
Hey, listen, man. You do your job, I do mine.
Then before we go and do this job now, what exactly is it that we were going to be investigating there, Mr. Atticus?
I've just been a couple reports of supernatural activity, people hearing like spirits talking, specifically up in the air traffic control tower. That's why I kind of mentioned that. There's 2 others. There's a some sort of like weird activity in the generator room in a sub basement.
That does not sound pleasant at all.
No. Well, people, it's probably old machinery, but whatever, we'll see. That happens, I think they said like around midnight, so it'd be good to get down there before that and get set up. And then what was the other one? Something about a bunkhouse for pilots and a hearing like someone sobbing, like crying, somewhere in between those 2, like maybe 10 p.m., something around there. We should probably try to get over there, see if we can. I've got some equipment we can set up, see if anything sets any of my tools off, but
maybe we can kind of time it, by the time of day or time of night that you're thinking of checking out. And if you need any help with any kind of wiring for your gear, just let me know. I got a whole bag full of it because I got a lot of really good gear that I spent a lot of money on. My dad actually helped me and he bought most of it, but I say that I did it.
Yeah. I just, some of it helps to mic some of my gear to make sure like people can hear like the EMF readers and stuff like that kind of going off if they do. But I expect we'll see a lot of that around power lines, things like that, because they can set it off. I'll establish all that when we're filming as well, because we want to, the audience needs to know like, oh, this could be nothing.
Let's get this establishing shot then. Travis, I'm ready when you are.
All right, my fellows, let's head out and go do this. Now, if we can make those instruments of yours kind of go off just a little bit now and then to build a little bit of tension, that helps with the viewership.
I'll see what I can do.
I know you will.
All right, Travis, you're on in 3, 2.
Welcome. This is WBC4 News, Channel 8. And we are live here with Mr. Atticus, a paranormal investigator, looking at this, it's an air traffic control building down in Georgia, middle of summer. And, well, my friend, what do you have to say about the strange paranormal activities that may have been happening down here?
People over the years have reported strange happenings throughout this airport. But tonight I want to focus on this air traffic control tower. As any locals may be aware, rumors of ghosts and ghostly activity have been reported within the tower around dusk. So we will be approaching and setting up. Beforehand, I have some equipment with me, some EMF readers, some tape recorders, things of that nature, which can detect to hopefully capture any paranormal activity if it occurs. I do want to warn the audience, strong electromagnetic waves created by power lines or things of that nature, which are prevalent at an airport in certain areas, could also set off this equipment. So please be aware that not every noise that my equipment makes could be a spirit. But
no, Mr. Atticus, you are just too modest. You are a paranormal investigator. Every sound, every beep, every spike in his instrumentation could very well be of the paranormal, the supernatural, and possibly, dare I say it, in the Bible Belt, the demonic. Anyway, we are here on the scene to figure out if this is such the case.
You are, of course, correct, Travis. It is good to make sure that any viewers know that there are things out there, but we are here to determine whether or not they are a threat and if they are truly haunting the places in your hometown. As I said, we will be going up into the air traffic control tower, where there have been reports of ghosts arguing with each other and perhaps a physical altercation between them.
Right.
And we're good. That, you know, I think there's some really good stuff here. I'm going to try to edit out some of the conversation, make it seem, you know, a little more dramatic, add some music, really highlight that, you know, demonic, you know, that demonic quote that you put out there was pretty good. We could probably cut off the conversation just after you said there are things out there, just to make it seem like this is a little more dangerous than it is. I think the audience is really going to like it.
Hey guys, you know, it's up to you.
I start like wrapping up all my stuff.
This is absolutely amazing. So you guys, at this point, it's getting close to dusk, and you guys are going to head to the air traffic control tower. Now, when you get there, there is a lot of detritus in the way. It has been boarded up, but the boards are kind of old and weather rotted, so you're able to get through pretty easily. And when you get up there, the staircase is pretty structurally damaged. So what I'm going to have everybody do for me is I'm going to have you all make let's call it a coordination plus, I'm going to go with vigilance, just to make sure that you're stepping in the right places. So remember that your coordination will be rolled as D6s and your vigilance will be rolled as D8s. And your cutoff number is 5.
I have to roll one of my D8s twice because I apparently lost one.
So I got 2 successes.
Right on.
I have 2 successes. I am the most limber anchorman in the world.
Is it 5 or higher for the 6 dice too?
Yeah.
That is a big fat goose egg.
Okay, no worries. So again, in this system, you still, even with 0 successes, you still fundamentally did what you were trying to do. You're able to get up there. So Atticus and Travis are able to get up with no trouble. You step over some places where the stairs have sort of collapsed, just, you know, kind of balancing on these rusty wrought iron poles to get up there. But I'm sorry, cameraman, what was your character's name again?
Billy Zane Jr., son of Billy Zane.
Obviously, I don't know how I could forget that. So Billy, while you're going up there, you're able to get up. You get up there, no problem. But as you're going up, your lapel mic falls all the way down to the floor. So you are now unmiked.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Damn it. My dad is going to kill me. Can I try to, like, is it gone, or can I try to, like...
It's not gone, but you'll have to go back downstairs to retrieve it.
I got too much gear.
Do what?
I have too much gear. I don't want to. I've already lost the lapel mic. Just call it a wash. I've got, you know, my cameras. I think we're all right.
Right on. All right. So you guys get up here, and the first thing you notice, it is one of those octagonal rooms. Now, it's obviously much smaller than you would see in a bustling, you know, airport, but it's one of those octagonal rooms with the slanted windows. Many of the windows have been broken out. There's a fine coat of dust on everything. The machines are all up against the walls, and obviously they're all off. But the thing that you most notice is that the whole tower is, you know, now that you're up in it, you can feel it. It's very slightly leaning to one side. It's leaning to the side where that crack is. So it's not the most comfortable position to be in the world. you don't think it will collapse, but that's got to be playing on the back of your head a little bit that this whole tower might go down with you in it. And you wait for dusk to arrive. As it does, I would like everybody to make a, we're going to call this intuition plus, we're going to say intuition plus, I'm going to give this also a vigilance, because I'm going to see if you can spot something.
Intuition. Vigilance.
Deuces.
3.
Traces.
Okay. So you guys will all sort of notice that where one of these big, thick glass windows is cracked just a little, like a spider web crack in the center, directly beneath it, there is a clipboard. And it's damaged on one side. And just by looking at it, your first thought is, well, this may be something that was thrown against this window.
I'll point that out. I'll be like, so the story here is that you hear two men arguing, and it seems like a angry altercation, and then you hear something get thrown against something, and I'll point out. I'll be like, that could be like, that might be a good establishing shot. Like,
here's what we can do. I have an idea. I'm gonna film first the clipboard, just a 2-second shot, and then if you, crap, I'm sorry, what's your character's name? Ian. Atticus, if you want to just grab it real quick and just throw it across the room, and I'll just film that.
Sure. All right.
Perfect.
Cool. Before question, is there like a table or something where I can set up some equipment, or like, all right.
Yeah.
So I'll set up a couple, like an EMF reader and like a tape recorder and a couple other things on a table in the middle, and I'll be like, and I'll have it all turned on and like just ready to go in case there's some reaction or anything. I'll explain like what each thing does quickly to them. I'll be like, all right, so this will start like buzzing and making noise if there's spiritual activity or high pulses of electricity in the area. The tape recorder will just capture any sounds we hear, and then a couple other pieces here just which will register. There's one of them as like one of those line graph thingies which will like register if there's tremors and vibrations, like violent ones, things like that.
So do you turn any of this equipment on, or are you just showing it off?
When we are ready to start recording, like when dusk starts approaching, I do turn it all on.
Okay.
I am impressed. Good God, you got a lot of good gear.
I like what you did there with figuring that out.
It's tools of the trade for the paranormal investigator.
We'll have to talk later. I want to get me some of this gear. I don't know what half of it does, but I'm sure I can find a use for it.
Well, hey, if the pilot gets picked up, we should have a budget. We'll be able to buy a bunch of it. So
I'm going to walk over. I'm going to excitedly take I have a Steadicam that's kind of strapped to me.
Right on.
And I'm going to kind of run very excitedly over. But as I do that, I throw a compact over to Travis.
Hey.
For your makeup, sir, you might want to. It's all the dust. It's gonna catch the light, and then
God, this place.
Let me know if you want your baby wipes. I have them. I have them in my bag.
Baby tells you when baby wants the baby wipes. Got it.
That's why you're the hardest working man in town. And then I start setting up the shot for the.
All right. So you set up the shot, and you get a good like close up pan back on the clipboard. And then dusk is pretty rapidly approaching. Because I need to know the order of events, I believe Atticus is the one who's going to pick up the clipboard to throw it. Do you turn the machines on before you pick up the clipboard?
Yes.
The EMF reader is going bonkers. Everything else is normal, but the EMF reader it's acting insane. It's needling all the way out and then needling back.
I told you, like around any electrical equipment, anything, if there's still live power in this building, that's going to set this thing off like crazy.
There's no live power in this building that you can turn.
But would we know that?
Well, it's pretty derelict, right?
Yeah.
You might not know that, but Billy does know that because he had to get all the permits to come out here.
So yeah, I still say what I said. Like, if there's any live power here, this can set this thing off like crazy. I mean, I can turn the volume. I can adjust the volume on it if it's gonna interrupt your recording.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably the power that's doing it.
Cool.
Yeah, you might want to turn it down.
All right, I turned it down so the camera can still pick it up the sound, but it's not gonna like mask our speaking.
Yeah, okay. I guess I can get a quick shot of it, but hey, let's just get the shot of the clipboard.
Yeah, I got some overlay narrative I can put onto this as you zoom in on the clipboard and as readings go a little wild.
Do you have a mic? I lost my lapel mic, so I can't.
I always got a mic.
And is that gold plated?
Yeah, leopard print handle.
Wow, damn! You guys have some good gear. I got to talk to my dad to try to get some of this amazing gear myself.
One day.
So I grabbed the clipboard and I kind of toss it over to Atticus.
So the moment you touch the clipboard,
yep,
you're still in this room, but they're not there anymore. And the room is clean. The machines are on. You can see planes getting ready, smaller planes getting ready to taxi off the tarmac. And there are two men in the room. And they both have, one of them has nicely close cropped hair, but he's still got that sort of bushy 70s mustache that every dude apparently in the 70s had. The other guy has longer hair. He also has sort of full facial hair, and the two of them are arguing. And the one who's sitting at the equipment is saying, Tom, I don't know what to tell you. I have been given the orders that your bird is grounded. You can't go anywhere. This isn't up to me. I don't make the rules, but I can tell you that if you try to taxi off this runway, we're going to have to call local authorities. And we're not going to give you the keys to unwire your plane. If you're going to have to cut it with something if you want to get out of here. And I'm telling you, the cops are going to come. They're going to throw you in jail. The other guy says, Don, you cannot hold me here. I haven't done anything wrong. I have to get home tonight. I have my wife's 40th birthday party is tonight. You're not holding me here, Tom. I don't care what she told you. And the argument gets more and more intense as the two of them go back and forth. And finally, Tom is holding a clipboard. He's pointing at it emphatically. It's his flight plan. And he's saying, look, I told you the only place I'm stopping, I got to stop once for refueling, and then I'm landing in Charleston, and I'm having my wife's 40th birthday. The guy at the counter says, Tom, I'm not letting you go. And Tom throws the clipboard. It hits the window cracks, and he storms out. And then it all dissolves, and you're back here with the two of them.
I'm immediately trying to, throughout that, trying to turn my camera on, but everything, I don't know how fast I was able to get it turned on to actually start filming that conversation, or it's just really the only way that I can kind of make sense of what's going on in front of me.
And for the two of you, there's not even a second here. Nothing elapses. No time elapses.
So we didn't see him like staring into space or anything? Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Do you want me to throw the clipboard? Like, what are we doing?
The clipboard. Did you guys just? Did you see that? Where did you? What?
What are you talking about, Billy?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Might be a little hungover. I went to a Hollywood party last night.
You drink the tap water in this town?
Not the tap. A little bit. I was thirsty. I sweat a lot. Okay. Let's just. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry, guys. Let's just film this. Just throw the clip.
Okay, get a zoom in on that clipboard.
Yeah.
So I'm like zooming in, but like.
Okay, a clipboard, a broken window, and ghosts with unresolved trauma. What could cause these spirits to be so disturbed that they defy the afterlife itself? The glass broken by a human head, perhaps? We'll cover this more with our investigator, Mr. Addix.
I'm still filming.
And I will pick up the clipboard and I will.
Same thing happens to you.
Oh, same thing happens to me now. So I'll pick it up, witness all of that, and then when I come back, I'll just be like, I'll just look at the camera dude and drop the clipboard.
Hey, that's evidence. We need that for the shop. What are you doing dropping it on the floor?
What?
I don't know. Did
What?
you?
You guys having a moment here? What's happening? You drink the tap water too?
You must have drank the tap water too.
I point at the clipboard and I'll be like, "Can you grab that?" Because when I dropped it, I probably bounced or whatever. I'll be like, "Can you grab that?" I'll look at Travis. I'll be like, "Can you grab that for me?"
I'm not grabbing it.
I'm not. No, sorry, Travis.
I don't grab anything. I got people for that.
Travis, I'm not touching that clipboard again, man.
It's just a clipboard. For God's sakes, I pick it up.
Same thing happens to you.
The hell was that?
I
Set it down back where it was.
So what happened when you grabbed the clipboard, Travis?
Well, I've had some experiences in my life that have been similar, but not quite like that one.
I'm gonna walk over to my equipment.
Okay.
So the EMF is still going crazy.
Going bonkers.
Did like the seismograph thing? Is that registering like when?
It's registering a very low level rumble, but it has been ever since you've turned it on, and you suspect that's probably that manufacturing plant up on the hill.
Okay.
I'm gonna film all the gear that's going off, just as like this camera's become my security blanket.
As you're filming it, that seismograph, the rumble goes away.
I'm gonna pick up the EMF meter.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna kind of hold it near like where I saw those people standing, not necessarily the clipboard.
So it's still doing the thing. It's not. It's you normally when you expect this thing to do what it's supposed to do, it'll go to a certain level and hover there.
Yep.
Jumping and falling half or jumping back halfway and falling, and it looks like it may be broken or something. It is not moving the way. Yes, you certainly may if you want to grab a hold of it.
Okay, so I am going to use one of my character's abilities. I'm going to grab the board and do what's called a Janus gaze on it.
So for those out there in the audience, he grabs the board and he instinctually looks through time, both forward and backwards. And he may take on 1 minute, add 1 minute to your clock, which remember puts you at 2. So you now have a distress die on everything that you do. And tell me the when question you're asking about this board.
When did this happen?
This event took place on the evening of September 17th, 1971.
What of that?
At 7:04 p.m.
Did you say September?
Yep.
That was 1970.
71.
71. Okay. Guys, I don't know how I know this, but I have a feeling this may have occurred in the 70s based on what I may have seen. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was that guy that was standing over there just a second ago with the same mustache that you used to have back when you were on Channel 5.
I am not that old.
Are you sure?
I'm
How old are you,
so
Travis?
sure. Let's not talk about numbers.
I mean, clipboard's haunted.
Sure.
Good.
Are you sure? I mean, listen, there's mold growing. I don't know.
You've seen this before?
I've seen things before. I haven't seen this before.
All I'm saying is that was a pretty mundane conversation that I saw. I thought ghosts would be a little scarier than that.
But it lines up with the reports pretty exactly. I mean,
what part of the conversation did you? I'm assuming you saw what I saw, right? I mean, that's an assumption that.
Yeah, I recount what I saw, which lined it up to be the exact same, essentially.
Not even different parts of the conversation?
Nope, same thing.
So the flight plan's on that clipboard.
Did a plane crash or something back then?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, you know that a plane hit this tower at one point, but you're not sure when.
Okay. So it's possible that this guy who stormed off to go to his wife's birthday, or did you all have the same hallucination I had?
Yeah, I recount same exact.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I don't know. Maybe he was in charge of air traffic control, and he left his post, and this tragedy struck. But I don't get why they would be lingering here. And the other things you were talking about us earlier, this crying in the basement, and how does this all fit together? You think there's a story here somewhere? I can smell it.
Look at my watch. What time is it?
It's 8:00, and it's getting. Yeah, we all know that in Georgia it doesn't get dark until like 10. But we're gonna say, for the purposes of this narrative, that it's getting dark enough that you really kind of don't. You're freaked out a little bit. You kind of don't want to be out here in the dark. You do have a generator for your trailer, so if you go back to your trailer and get ready to call it a night, you can probably discuss more there.
Yeah, let's pump it back over there.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to need everybody to give me that. I'll call it a coordination plus athletics to get back down, because at this point it's a lot darker. You don't have as keen of a sense of where everything is. I will allow you to make it coordination plus vigilance still, but you'd have to roll everything as D6s.
Well, that would at least give me dice to roll, because I don't have athletics. What about instinct? Because I've already climbed it once.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just do the.
It's the same number of dice as if I roll vigilance.
Yeah,
so
that's fine by me.
Okay.
Travis, do remember that you have to add a D4 to this roll.
Yes, and I was going to ask, when we're rolling vocational skills, is that a different set of dice?
No.
Still 8.
Yeah, all skills are the same.
Okay.
Innate are just the skills that everybody has access to.
From the situation that just happened, is there any? I'm sorry to cut you off, Rav.
No, it's cool. We got 2.
For any of the for the stuff that happened, was there any like modifications to our roll because of that, in the way of like distress dice or anything?
Not yet. I decided not to add minutes to that moment, but don't worry, you'll get plenty of minutes coming up here soon.
So I got a big old fat old 0 for my successes.
All right. So if you've got at least one success, you're able to get down without any trouble whatsoever. However, Atticus, on the way down, you get down fine, but as you're coming down, you're just moving a little faster than you realize, and you don't see that there's a piece of rebar jutting out, and you dome yourself on it.
Fuck.
So go ahead and take 1 damage.
All right.
This is good. Zoom in on that. They'll think that the ghosts.
Or don't be an asshole.
Fuck. Don't
Or
say
do
asshole.
be an asshole and get the viewers.
Guys, stop saying asshole. I'm trying to get the wound.
I like put my hand and push the camera away. I'm like, or we don't.
And that's also, by the way, a great shot. You can use that. You can cut that later as him being frustrated.
Yeah.
But it's a scalp wound, and scalp wounds bleed. So it's not like buckets or anything like that. But it is a pretty decent for it's a tiny little cut, but it's a pretty decent amount of blood you've got on you there. You guys are able to get back to the trailer and sort of. You guys sort of talk, you clean up your wound, you talk throughout everything that's been going on, and eventually it's sort of, it's dark outside, and you're like, we should probably try to get some sleep because we're going to need to get up early to get golden hour shots. And you guys rack out. And then at some time of the evening, you're all awoken by a bang, a loud, like metal on metal clanging noise from somewhere nearby.
The fuck was that?
Man, I was having a good dream too.
Would you bang your head on another thing?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't me.
Definitely wasn't me. I don't think.
I'll get up and I'll turn flashlight on.
So inside the trailer, you guys have your lights, and there's nothing going on inside the trailer. When you kind of crack the door open, there's 2. Well, first foremost, give me a Give me an intuition plus investigation roll to see if you spot this thing sitting out on the runway.
Well, while that's happening, I'm also turning on like the night vision part of my camera.
Okay.
Or lens or whatever.
Sure. It is night vision Gen 1 because it's the 90s, so it's not great, but it's not terrible either. If he shines this flashlight at it, it'll screw you up. So Atticus, you shine your flashlight, you notice two things. The first thing you notice is that the door to the hangar is wide open, and it wasn't earlier. The second thing you notice is that there seems to be a small twin-engine plane sitting out on...
Guys.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yep.
Yeah. What is?
I'm gonna leave the trailer and start kind of like I'm gonna grab my bag with my gear. I'll be like, what? I'll be like, hangar, plane.
Oh, geez. I grabbed my blazer and my golden mic with a leopard print. And hey, come on, yo, Billy, come on, we got follow this guy.
I'm wearing only underwear. And I grab my...
You're not the one on camera. Who cares? It's 80 degrees out here.
So I don't even bother getting dressed, and I grab my stuff. Travis, Jesus! All right, well, I don't see anything, but he's got to turn that. He's got to turn the light off. He's going to screw up the shot.
Yeah, we'll figure that out when we get there. We can't lose this guy. It's like gold.
I'm running with the leopard print underwear that matches the microphone.
Oh, the implications of that. Okay, so you guys are headed into the hangar, right?
Sorry?
You guys are headed into the hangar?
I'm following Atticus.
Okay.
To the
filming
plane,
him.
right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, one more time. I'm hearing impaired. Did you say to the plane or to the hangar?
Oh, we're following Atticus, and I think he was running towards the plane.
Okay.
That.
All right, so as you get closer to the plane, Atticus, now you guys will see it. But as it looks weird. It looks dark. And as you get, and when you flash through it with the flashlight, it does not get any brighter. You would think that like a white light on a white plane would sort of illuminate it, but it doesn't. It still seems, when you get up next to it, realize it's because it's not really there. It is, but it isn't.
Before I get up to it, I'm going to fumble around in my bag and pull out my EMF reader.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it on.
Same thing before. Bonkers, just going back and forth.
Fuck.
So as you get up too close to it, you see that you can still see the tree line through it. You guys can see this, right?
Is this showing up on camera, Travis?
I'm flipping through settings on my camera between like black and white, color, night vision, the really crappy different like things you could do on the 90s camera that just slightly change things a bit.
The only mode that catches anything there is active IR catches a bizarre blob there. So there's some sort of disruption of normal light patterns there, but you can't, it does not look like a plane. It looks like an oblong blob.
You guys got to see this. Atticus, you should probably see this.
What? I turn the flashlight off and I come over and look.
We're here live on the scene. The air traffic control tower, a plane we have just seen in the hangar. It looks on our video, it is showing up distorted. However, we do see it here. This is quite unusual. My associates' instruments are going bonkers.
Travis, that's gold.
Oh, hell.
Take a look at this, Atticus. What is it? It's like a blob or something. I don't know.
There's a shout from inside the hangar.
Ah!
Did you get that? Did you?
I heard that.
My mic picked it up.
I'm gonna reach into my bag and just turn the tape recorder on, and then I'm just gonna start turn the flashlight on again, start running towards the hangar, and I'm going to give the plane a wide berth. I'm gonna be like, yeah.
I'm still trying to establish shots while I'm running.
Okay.
I'm going to try and put my hand and touch the plane.
Your hand goes straight through it. It's not there. There's no change in temperature or anything like that. You just don't feel it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a ghost plane.
All right, and you guys.
Did you say ghost plane?
Ghost plane.
Ghost plane.
Thank you. I didn't catch that first time.
When you get to the hangar, and did you turn your flashlight back on?
Oh yeah.
So, you shine your light through the hangar, and at first You don't see anything. And then you catch motion. And you see what looks like in the distance, there are these mounds of cloth that are moving, but you can't really make them out very well.
So I have a dread contract,
Yeah.
the madness angle.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Excellent.
I can spot anything hidden by mundane means.
Correct. So go ahead and spend your minutes and take
All
a minute
right.
off your clock. Remember that gives you a distress die. And what happens when you blow the madness angle is, for all intents and purposes, again, this is sort of an innate thing. You don't even mean to do it. But in every situation where your character is in this specific situation across the multiverse, you can now see through all of those eyes at once. And all of those eyes are just microns to inches apart. That's why it causes a distress to you, because it's terrifying to jam all of those images into your mind at once. But it gives you a lot of new angles on what you're looking at. And what you see,
DMT trip.
Yeah, I'm like,
what you see is what looks like bunks, like cots. There are like 15 or 20 cots, and there's a bunch of dudes trying to hide in those because they don't want you to spot them. There's also a dude directly to your left who is about to walk out and start talking to you, and it would have scared the piss out of you, but you see him now. And sure enough, he comes right around and he's like, hey guys, I'm sorry. Who are y'all?
Do I see him?
Yeah, everybody sees him.
We are with the Reason Brigade. We're filming for the science fiction channel with News Channel 8.
He'll see the camera and he'll go, "Oh no shit, really?"
Yeah, I know. Really, what are you doing here, sir? What kind of things? Have
I
you witnessed?
immediately give him like a sign off sheet to sign off like
Get the
a
wave up.
yeah.
Oh, this is cool, man. I'm gonna be on TV. All right. He signs it, hands it back to you, and he extends his hand to anybody. He'll shake it.
I'll shake his hand.
He says, "Hey, man, my name is Chuck Parham, and me and these boys, we don't have anywhere else to live. We all work up at the Horton Homes plant. It's ironic. You'd expect us to have homes working at a manufacturer of mobile homes, but we don't. So we've been sleeping down here for the past. Well, I've been sleeping here for about 3 years. I actually used to work here back in the 70s. And,
We'd love to hear about that. And if you want to tell us all about your situation to get exposure to the horrible living conditions of your employer and how you all deserve a raise, we would more than happily record it and get your testimony as far as anything that happened here during the 70s when this calamity struck.
Oh, sure. Hold on one second. Hey, Mr. Cameraman, would you do me just one little favor and just turn that camera away from these boys back here for me for a second? Just 1 second.
Okay.
He's going to shout in Spanish, and all of those dudes are going to take off.
I can delete that part.
I would appreciate it. These fellas didn't do nothing wrong. I don't want to get them in trouble.
It's all on tape. We gotta upload it anyways. So consider it done. And I take out the tape, put it in my back pocket, and put in a new tape as a sign of good faith.
Can I do a roll to see if I can get anything out of this guy?
Sure. What specifically are you trying to get out of him?
Maybe like just whatever information he has about what happened here in the 70s, maybe the people that we saw throw the clipboard.
Yeah. Give me a charisma plus, depending upon how you're trying to do this, either a manipulation, or if you're trying to like in the middle of an interview, you can use performance instead. I know that both of those roles are pretty good for you though.
They're actually identical, so I'm just gonna I guess performance, because I'm not necessarily trying to pull a fast one on him. I legitimately want to know.
Right.
So do I add a D4 to this?
Yeah. Add
Okay.
a D4 to everything.
So it's one. Only 2 successes. Oh wait, yeah, 2 successes.
So he'll say, "Yeah, man, I was the head groundskeeper back 1968 to 1971 when the crash happened. And it never really, after 71, after the crash, the night of the crash, the airport never really got back on its feet. I mean, it stayed open until like 85 or 86, but it was never the same again. Nobody wanted to fly out of here because there had been rumors that the air traffic control was asleep on the job. Maybe he had been drinking, and there's been some safety violations when the FCC came down, and is that right? FCC? FAA. When the FAA came down and looked around, they found some things that made it where it looked like maybe that accident could have been avoided. So they imposed a whole bunch of fines. I ended up getting canned because they couldn't afford to keep dedicated ground crew. They offered to let me stay on as an in residence, like I'd live here and they'd feed me, but they weren't going to be able to pay me. And I did do that for about 6 months, but I needed to support some habits. And so I went, I told around, I came back to Edenton about 5 years ago, started working here for Horton Homes. And once that happened, I moved here to the airport. Horton treats me real good, treats all of us real good. But, so that thing you said about the conditions here are great. We love our company, but at the same time, I'm not the kind of dude who needs a 3-bedroom house. I got this perfect hangar right here. I've been around most of my life right here. So, so I can give you guys, I'd want to wait till tomorrow, but I can give you guys a tour. I can show you everything. Like I said, I don't think anybody alive knows this place better than me.
That would be great.
Do you sleep in the hangar? I like to pull my camera. Are you sleeping in the hangar?
So say one more time.
Are you sleeping in the hangar?
Yeah. Well, I'm sleeping in the office. I had my crew here sleeping in the hangar. We had this whole idea. We're going to save as much money as we possibly could. And then we were going to, so there's a very specific kind of joining clip that the manufacturer up the hill needs. And they've been ordering it from China. And we figured if we saved up enough starting capital, we might be able to make our own here in this hangar. We might be able to rent out this hangar because dirt cheap and set up a production facility and sell to them and, start our own business.
There's no power. Is there any power to it? I didn't think there was any power to it.
There's no power, man, but it's all right. We've got sinks at work. We can do, what we used to say in the airline industry, we just got to wash the wheels, the wings, and the cockpit. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. I've had my fair share of a gentleman's bath myself.
That's a gentleman's bath. I like that.
The story is not about you, Billy Zane. Let's hear more from this gentleman here.
Well, wait, hold on, because I think having a tour would be useful. Having a guide, because we don't know where that sub-basement room is.
With the electrical sub-basement? Yeah, I can take you down. I'm not going to take you down there tonight. I can take you down in the daylight. It's darker now, shit. Even during the day, there's no light down there. So
right, yeah. No, that's fine. Although, so we're filming because of all the reports of like paranormal, supernatural activity here. That's what our show's about. Debunking it. And I heard there was some stuff that happened down there around midnight. I glanced at my watch.
Yeah, I mean, man, it's all local teenagers. They come down here, they want to get high, and they succeed in that task, and then they see stuff, and it's all a bunch of hooey. But
that's what we're here to prove, man.
Yeah, speaking about getting high, did you see this plane over here that was very strange?
Ain't been a plane on this property in 15 years, man.
I turn around, is the plane still there?
Yeah, you can still see it, but again, it's sort of vague.
I pull a cigarette out. I offer one to Chuck.
Okay.
Oh, this is good. Can you mention the what brand, or at least show the label? It's going to really help for.
Are you sure? For
our sponsors, yeah.
Don't you have to cut that?
No, it's the 90s, man. No, of course not. How are we paying for this thing? Of course, the cigarette companies are helping.
It's Emu brand.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Local transient does not see ghost plane. He lives right next door to it.
He chuckles when you say that.
So you're saying that, you know, there's a lot of local teens that like to come in here, smoke up.
Yeah, they come out here and they do their thing. It's either here or Flat Rock. They go out to Flat Rock and do the same thing. But they come here and you know, they explore and they build each other up. And I mean, I like I said, I've lived here. I've been sleeping out here for almost 5 years. Weirdest thing I ever seen is well, I mean, the weirdest thing I've ever seen is there's an alligator in that little marshland right over there.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that gets at you.
Yes.
There's an alligator, and it's weird. Being this far from the coastline, it's a little weird, but it ain't that weird.
So does that do anything to me? Because I have a memory of that.
It doesn't, but you definitely don't want to go out there.
Yeah.
We should probably go someplace that has a little more light in it, not in the woods, probably.
Sure. I mean, y'all wanna rack out for the night, and I'll guide you around tomorrow.
That works for me.
All right.
Not going anywhere near now as you get any kind of amphibians.
It's okay, Travis. I know they make you feel uncomfortable.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, definitely don't bring up snakes around him.
Right, so unless you guys have anything else to do, you go back to bed for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And the next morning, when you get up, Chuck is sitting outside cooking hot dogs over a little camp stove he's got there. And
like Chuck,
when you walk out there, he'll offer you hot dogs, and you know they're fine. He's cooking them on coat hangers, but I don't know how you guys will feel about that.
I'm definitely taking a hot dog for sure.
Atticus would not take a hot dog. It's like I'm good, thanks. I got some oatmeal. Yeah.
Oh, good. So what do y'all want to see?
Well,
What about that basement?
yeah, like I said, that basement, that electrical room.
Yeah, I can take you down there. So you guys sort of eat breakfast, get your stuff ready, and he'll take you. Where he takes you is a little shack across the tarmac. It's got a windsock on a pole next to it. And when you see the shack, it's very unassuming. You don't think much about it. But when he goes in, there's what looks like a cellar door inside. And he'll open that, and it is pitch black down there.
Turn on my flashlight.
All right. So you guys go down into this. What are your various trauma triggers, by the way? Is anybody trauma triggered darkness?
Yeah, I am very much so.
Okay, cool. So I should have been doing it back then, but I failed to do it. But you have not yet actually had your initial run-in.
No.
So you don't gain minutes the way that they do.
Ooh, how do I gain minutes or not avoid gaining minutes?
You will gain minutes strictly from seeing terrible things right now. You are not comfortable. You don't like being down here, but you're not gaining minutes yet.
Okay.
However,
come on, Billy Zane Jr.
I know at least one of you is not going to love this. The moment that you hit the first landing, you hear the water dripping, and by the time you're down there, you realize that you're going to have to be at least hip deep in this water that has flooded this sub basement to get to the center of the room.
I drop in.
Okay.
When I see Travis hesitate, I'm like, dude, come on. You want me to delete this entire thing?
That's what you're here for, isn't it?
No. Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like hold my
I'm
camera.
not a TV personality.
I'm gonna kind of hold my camera as high as possible and say, okay, BZJ, here we go, and then jump in.
What happens when I start going on the water?
So the first thing that happens is you're just reminded. You're reminded of that night and that thing coming at you through the water, and every little thing that brushes your ankle is that thing again, and every sound you hear is that creature, and you are absolutely on edge. And the first thing that happens is you immediately take one more minute.
Okay.
And I will tell you as time goes by when you gain more minutes from being in here.
All right. Zach, yeah, swear to God, that goddamn
All right, dude.
alligator's back in here again.
Smart alligator?
You okay, Travis?
His eyes were full of intelligence and he's horrible.
I'm filming all this.
Chuck is just kind of looking at you like, oh, all right, I don't think the gator could have got down here. The door was closed. He ain't got thumbs.
Sorry, just bringing up some bad memories.
So as you guys sort of kick through the water, what you do find is you do see the hulking shadowed forms of the generators in the background. There are like 3 or 4 of them. They're clearly damaged and turned off, but there is also in the center of this room, there is like a stone table, and it doesn't really make any sense for it to be there.
What the hell?
Like a stone table, like a
Is
like
it
an old ritual table, or like a
stone altar?
yeah.
It looks like it could be something like that, sure.
You making pizza down here in Hot Stone?
I'm not sure what that is. I haven't seen that before.
You said you've been down here for years and you know everything there is about this place.
Yeah, but I don't come down into a flooded sub-basement for the good of my health. I haven't been down here for about 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years ago, was that there? That table?
No, I mean, but you know what it is? It's a go ahead and take another minute. It's the kids do this. The kids put this here.
The kids? What? Oh, the
smoking-
yeah,
smoking
yeah.
kids?
I'm gonna approach this altar. I'm gonna be reaching into my bag, keeping it up out of the water. I'm gonna pull out my EMF reader. Be like, you filming? I'm gonna.
Yeah. I'm filming this whole thing, man.
As soon as he sees, as soon as I see him put stuff on this table, which is probably out of the water, I'm gonna sit on it to try and get out of the water as much as I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like raised up out of the water?
It's raised up a little bit out of the water, and when you go to sit on it, you will see that there is a deep nick in the top of the table that looks like it was made by something sharp, and there are brown stains all over the top of the table, and there is a key.
A key?
A key.
Oh, I think someone soiled themselves on this thing.
That's your first assumption here?
I don't know.
Yes, I am very germophobic. I don't want to touch anything that is disgusting that someone may have defecated on.
I take the baby wipes out of my pocket that are now at this point sopping wet, and I throw them at Travis.
Baby wipes.
Whoa, hold on. Film this first though, because I mean, guys, I have a PI background. Like that could be blood.
It could be. It is. Can you say that one more time? Just like a little more serious.
This could be blood.
I zoom in really quickly and dramatically.
Right.
You heard him. It's blood.
I said it could be blood.
It's blood.
I stopped filming that part.
I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna pick up the key.
All right. When you pick up the key, the other 2 people don't see this, but you do. There is a man strapped to this table, and it's Tom. It's the pilot, and there are several people around him, and they look homeless. They look like bums, but they're standing around him, and they have sharpened weapons raised above him, like they're going to ritually harm him. And he actually, they just don't have him tied down well enough. So he moves, he pulls real hard, and when he does, he pulls himself free, and he gets up and he swings and knocks one of them down, and he runs and he charges up the stairs and gets out. And at the top of the stairs, he shoves past a guy who's also in robes, who tries to stop him and can't. And you see him take off across the airfield. Make a intuition plus investigation roll real quick to see if you can see this important thing that will probably be where, unfortunately, we have to cut.
Travis, there's not much here. Just the table.
So he shoves the guy down, and the guy stands up, pulls his hood back, and shouts down, "Get him!" And the guy is Chuck. And it bleeds out, and you're back, and Chuck is standing in the doorway out. And he's looking at the 3 of you, and he says, "I did not think it would be this easy to get y'all down here. Anyhow, boys," and a whole bunch of hooded figures enter the room. And because we have a short session, we fade to black right there.
And I pull out my gun.
Shit.
Because I have a gun.
That makes sense to me.
That is awesome. It is actually on my sheet. Wow, that was really fun.
That was so fun. Oh my God, that was great.
Watch this. The Reason Brigade is one of the stories I'll be running.
Yes.
We have 4 different stories, and I'll let other people in sessions choose which one they want. We also have an option. We have in the book, we have a story generator. And one of the options is I roll against the story generator and we come up with something by the seat of our pants and see what happens.
Awesome.
So at 2 o'clock and again at 6 o'clock, if you're my players there, we're going to talk about what game you want to run. And so there's a lot more to this story if you are interested in seeing where the Reason Brigade goes. And thanks, guys, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great. Thank
It
you.
was.
You put together a great game.
Thank you so much.
That was a blast.
I will let you guys know that right now, just with everything that's been going on, we haven't had a chance to do it. But we are going to add the option. And now that the Kickstarter is over, we're going to add pre-order options. So you can still support us that way. But we also didn't want to come out right in the middle of everything that's going on and be like, hey, give us more money. So we're going to sort of slowly set that up over the course of the next week or so. But if you guys are interested in pre-ordering the game and continuing to support us financially, we will have that option available.
Hell yeah, man.
So quickly, just so everyone knows, there are 2 games of the Midnight World running later today and 2 tomorrow, and tickets are still on sale and available for those games if you enjoyed this and want to jump into them. I just dropped a link to the schedule in chat for everyone. Those of you who are watching this on video on demand, sorry, but you should go pre-order it. James, where can people find that pre-order?
So there's the easiest place to find us right now is on Facebook. You just search The Midnight World on Facebook. We also do have a web page that is being rebuilt because I'm a Luddite and I don't know how to. So it's being rebuilt, and it is www.themidnightworld.com. And of course, if you search us on Kickstarter, the Kickstarter is over, but we do still update bi-weekly on there to let everybody know. If you'll follow us, we are going to definitely drop on the Kickstarter where to continue to support us. And basically give people an idea of what is happening going forward.
Awesome.
James, thank you so much. This is fantastic.
And I just
Moral
put
of the
that.
story is, sorry, go ahead.
I just put that Facebook link in chat for everyone who wants to go check out the game.
James, that was so much fun.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
this is
I had a
great.
really good time.
Very cool. I'm definitely going to pick this up. I want to.
I'm also really excited to actually put faces to all of your names because every
Definitely.
archive I've known who you guys were and never had an opportunity to like hang out and chat with you. So this is great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
this is
We've
great.
been
You know,
friends
we
on
should-
social media for a while.
We should plan a continuation or another game with you, man. You're a fantastic GM, and this is a lot of fun.
If you guys have Twitch availability, we can make something happen.
That
Let's
we'd
do
love
it.
that.
Oh my God, let's do it.
Twitch availability right here.
Same characters.
So,
Same characters.
Yeah, I want to pick up from right here.
Yeah.
Will do.
Awesome. Thank you, James. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have maybe someone who has scheduled directly in front of them can say it. Shoom. I got it. Up next, we have Chronicles in Darkness, street level horror, where several fantastic GMs, as well as some of the developers and writers who have worked on the Chronicles of Darkness line at Onyx Path Publishing, are going to be talking about their games. So you should definitely tune in for that, coming up in just 2 minutes.
Thank you, Virtual Horror Con forever.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.